Welcome to ANZ's Trade and Supply Chain series, Trade Finance in the Spotlight. In this episode, we will introduce the Uniform Customs and Practice for Documentary Credits 2007 revision, International Chamber of Commerce publication number 600, otherwise known as UCP 600. For more than 80 years, letters of credit issued worldwide have been subject to UCP, making UCP the most successful set of private rules in use today. The UCP was first introduced by the International Chamber of Commerce in 1933 to create a set of uniform and internationally applicable rules regarding letter of credit transactions. Over the years, UCP has been revised 7 times to ensure it is consistent with current market trends and developments in international trade. The latest and 7th revision is referred to as UCP 600. UCP 600 comprises 39 articles, which provide a working guide to parties such as banks, importers, exporters, courts, etc., who are normally involved in letter of credit transactions. Application of UCP. It is important to remember that the International Chamber of Commerce is a private international organisation, not a government body. Hence, the UCP is a set of private rules rather than law. UCP 600 applies to a letter of credit transaction only when the letter of credit expressly states it is subject to UCP 600. Once expressly incorporated in the letter of credit, all parties in a letter of credit transaction are subject to the provisions of UCP 600. Being a private set of rules, it is also possible to exclude certain provisions of UCP in a letter of credit. This can be accomplished by expressly including a condition in the letter of credit which is different to what is stated in the UCP 600. For example, under the default UCP provision, partial shipments are allowed. However, if the beneficiary and the applicant agree that the entire shipment must be shipped in one lot, they can state in the letter of credit that partial shipments are not, in fact, allowed. Section 1. Definitions and Interpretations. UCP is divided into multiple sections. The first section provides definitions of the terms used in UCP and guidelines on the interpretations of terms typically used in letters of credit. For example, it defines who is an applicant, and it provides interpretation on terms used in a letter of credit, such as official, responsibilities and obligations. The next section provides the responsibilities and obligations of the issuing bank, advising bank, nominated bank and confirming bank. For example, it provides guidelines on when an issuing bank should pay under a letter of credit. It also provides guidelines on what the responsibilities are of the advising bank when advising the letter of credit to the beneficiary. Section 3. Standards on examination of documents. The third section of the UCP provides standards on the examination of documents under a letter of credit, and also provides guidance on the contents of documents which are typically presented under a letter of credit. For example, UCP provides guidelines on what the contents of a commercial invoice should be. Section 4. Transferability and Assignment. The final section of the UCP deals with the concept of transferability and assignment of proceeds. For example, the UCP tackles subjects such as whether a beneficiary can transfer the right to make a presentation under a letter of credit to another party. UCP 600 also includes version 1.1 of the e-UCP, a supplement which outlines the rules that govern the presentation of electronic documents. International Standard Banking Practice. The International Standard Banking Practice for the examination of documents under UCP 600, ISBP, is an accompaniment to UCP 600, which illustrates the standard practices to be followed when examining documents under a letter of credit. ISBP describes how the rules and principles in UCP 600 should be interpreted and applied in day-to-day banking practice when dealing with different trade documents such as invoices, transport and insurance documents, certificate of origin documents, etc. The two documents, UCP 600 and ISBP, should always be read in conjunction. The ISBP can provide further clarification and standards to apply in banking practice for letter of credit transactions. We hope you found this presentation useful. In our next episode, we will discuss key considerations when preparing documents under a letter of credit from the seller's perspective. Watch this space for more coverage on other trade-related topics. If you require more information, please don't hesitate to get in contact with your local ANZ representative.